Well, Coach Coop, you guys went into the portal a lot to kind of rebuild a room there. I mean, what's it been like so far, just kind of getting your guys in and get them up to speed?
You know, it's been good. We've got a good room. I mean, we've got some older guys that have been here with Seydu and Nick Lauderdale. And then obviously bringing in Justin and Cam in December was great, you know, because they all learned it together. So it's not like any of these guys were trying to teach somebody. They were all learning together. I was learning those guys, and they've really done a great job of helping each other on and off the field.
How versatile can you be with a guy like Seydu?
Very, because he can do a lot of different things. He's really changed his body this summer. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten faster. He takes ownership in everything that he does, and he's with like J-Mo and Shape, and those guys are out there nonstop. We got to kick him off the field sometimes, and he does. He brings a different element to our offense.
This is an offense when it's working at its best. The tight end is a huge piece of it. What about this offense makes the tight end so valuable?
You know, we put a lot on their plate mentally. We ask them to do a lot of things without necessarily telling them exactly what to do. We ask them to block the same defensive ends that left tackles block, and we ask them to go win against the same corners that our best receivers do. So we're asking them to do a bunch and also having a bunch on their plate mentally. So when those guys are operating like a quarterback at a high level, they can really help the offense really play with the type of tempo that we like to play with, and it does. It makes us versatile.
Last year, the position was at a point where they're having to move tackles to tight end and defensive linemen. It was kind of a tough job. How pleased were you guys with kind of restructuring that room in the offseason? Obviously, Seydu is already here, but getting the Ball brothers and guys like that in to kind of help alleviate some of that.
You know, we're happy with where we're at in that room, but I've been a part of those type of offenses too, where we've used receivers or O linemen, and it's a tough position to find, and just like anybody else, it's hard to be 3 or 4 deep, and those guys, it's hard at that position to play 80, 90 snaps a game, especially at the tempo we play at. So we feel like we've got 4 or 5 guys that can go in there and play and contribute and really not miss a beat.
You were one of the first assistants added to the staff. I mean, why was this the right opportunity for you?
It's always about people, and Coach Lev and I have a great relationship, and I trust him, and that's what this profession is all about, is trust. And we just talked about my 1-year-old going to school. I trust him with my kids, and it's not just about a job or the SEC or a salary or a title. This is who I want to be around. I want to go compete against the best, and that's what we're going to do every single Saturday. But it is about people, and it's obviously a great opportunity, but I was going to go wherever he went.
You ever coached brothers before on the same team?
I have not. I really haven't. So it's
How
been
different is
interesting.
that dynamic? I mean, they're getting it at home and on the field.
It really hadn't been, because if you've ever been a part of a locker room, it's not that different, And it's funny, we give them a hard time, and shoot, when they start changing their hair up, they're both big dudes. I'm like, which is that, Justin? Or I'm just watching film, and it's like, okay, sorry, Cam, but it's been good, and Justin's done a great job of bringing Cam along, because his work ethic, him being in the SEC, being a captain at that program, graduating from Vanderbilt is a huge accomplishment. So he's done a lot already, and he's done nothing but help bring Cam along.
Moving away from tight ends for a second, I mean, you obviously had the relationship with Ethan Miner, and he's bringing a lot of that stability to the offensive line, the center.
Sure.
What's that group getting and in a center, because that's such an important piece of the offensive line?
They're getting someone that is going to be very consistent and very stable, and he's always asking the right questions that centers should ask, and I've been there, so I understand. And he's very cognizant of himself and everybody around him, and he's not just worried about his job at one time. So he's going to be cognizant of us as an offense, that guy to the right and the left of him, and making sure we're all on the same page. And it's our job to let him go play free and fast, and not having to worry about some of that other stuff. That's for us as coaches. Let him go play, and he'll do a really good job of bringing continuity to that group.
With him, he's a little bit on a different level than a lot of guys. He's starting a family, and he's been around the game for a long time. What kind of leadership have you seen him add in the first few months since he's been here?
Ever since I've known him, he's been a very mature guy, and he fits great in the locker room. He's not like this 20-year NFL vet that you see at the next level, but he is very mature. You know, he goes home and he's got a wife and 3 dogs, but he's great in the locker room, and his leadership has really grown. He's grown a voice. You know, he's never been the vocal rah guy, but he's earned that trust, and he's starting to really develop that voice. And I think with Coach Lev and the dog program and everybody is really starting to let him see what kind of leader and what kind of influence he really does have.
Awesome, Coach.
Appreciate you,
Coach.
Coach.